Hello and welcome to the World of Football show here on Sports Tonight Live. I'm Mina Rizuki and I'm joined by my co-host Gabriele Marcotti. And what a weekend it's been. We now know who the champions of Italy are. We've seen Madrid finish in style and still finishing in style. And then we've got Germany, Bundesliga champions crowned. This is the weekend to watch football, or rather it was the weekend to watch football. But we have to speak about Juventus because they are now the Scudetto winners, and could it have been done in a more exciting manner?
Well, yeah, they could have not taken an early lead and left it down to the very end, and could have been slightly more exciting. Do you not think it was the most amazing
advertisement for Italian football on the night?
What,
2 games.
The fact that they had to play Cagliari away in Trieste?
Well,
no. It was.
Listen, I'm really sorry, but Cagliari put up a fight. They played.
Oh no,
They certainly didn't roll over or anything like that.
No question about that. No, I mean, I think Juve's whole season have been, in some ways, to me, a blueprint of how to do things properly. And I don't say it so much at club level because I think Beppe Marotta made some big mistakes in the summer. One of them, Algero Elia, another one, hanging on to Milos Krasic. But the way the players responded, the way they came together, the way people accepted the manager's decision, and above all the manager, Antonio Conte, who, as you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of.
Yes,
neither him nor his hair implants. But he did it.
It has to be a little dig, whether it's the hair implants or something.
You just
won't let it go. You just won't let it go.
It's still Conte. But a tremendous season. And hopefully something that can sort of inspire other clubs to do things properly.
Yes, but do you think this is... Because for me, this is probably 90%, 80% Conte Scudetto. I mean, the man who hasn't only studied tactics, but who studies, physiology, psychology, communication, the way that he's, explained his ideals to the team to get them motivated for the entire season, to make sure that he's prepared a great preseason in which they didn't suffer very many injuries. And then, you see the likes of Milan, who were very worthy, runners-up, but suffered such an unbelievable amount of injuries.
On the injury front, there's no question. Conte was the first to admit it, that Juve were helped tremendously by the fact that most guys stayed fit for most of the season. And he'll also tell you that it was made a lot easier by the fact that Juve weren't in European competition.
Yes.
Having a whole week, basically, to prepare every game allows you to do much more coaching as a manager. And, of course, you need to have a good coach to benefit from it. And certainly in Conte and also his assistant, Angelo Alessio, they obviously have that. Next season will present a wholly different set of challenges. But for this year, I mean, you just have to take your hat off to them. Just also because, man for man, I mean, this is an outstanding midfield. I struggle. I challenge anybody out there to find more than 3 clubs in Europe, or 4 clubs, who've got a better midfield trio than Juve's 3.
I mean, it is literally the heart and soul of that.
The goalkeeper, back to his best this season, one of the best around. The defenders worked very well, especially once he moved to 3-5-2. The strikers did a job, but I think even...
But I think that's what's so brilliant, is the fact that they didn't, in the end, need, a champion up top, because the team was the champion.
They didn't, but I think, again, Conte would probably admit, and the club has pretty much said that.
You could have benefited from definitely having a striker that can actually finish the many chances that they've created.
Exactly, because the reality is Milan dropped off because of the injuries.
Yes.
Against a better Milan side, or Milan where people were fit and scoring, you would have needed that additional guy to convert the chances.
Especially against the smaller teams like Lecce. But I just want to note that, Vidal is the best tackler in Europe, more shots per game on average than any other team in Europe. I do, because I think it's so important to note that. And the lowest amount of goals conceded in Europe. I mean, what a season for them. But we've got Tancredi Palmeri with us from Milan. Ciao, Tancredi, how are you?
Buongiorno, Mina. For sure, I'm not good as you are.
No, for sure you're not as good as me. I cried for 48 hours after that win.
48 hours?
48
so you are
hours.
hosting with sunglasses, I believe.
Well, mostly because I had their champions video on loop, on Juventus.com. Anyway, this is not what I want to talk. I also want to talk about how wonderful Inter were in the Milan derby. That Maicon goal, the controversial decisions. Stramaccioni, do you like him now?
Who?
Stramaccioni.
Oh, Stramaccioni.
Yeah, him, Stramaccioni.
Well, I must say that the guy is extremely clever. More than in the game, in the derby, where actually He picked the only possible good tactic and lineup to win the derby when in the same time everyone around was pointing and pushing for Sarate on the pitch that honestly, Sarate, what you can expect from him. But I must say he is very clever, especially in the press conference. Something like, I would say, being beside the senators, beside the Cambiassos, beside Moratti, but not showing like it would be, oh, come on, it's just the guys of the senators. So for sure, he got blamed for that. Even if still, if Inter wants to make a change next summer, what is needed is that the manager or a manager that in a way, all in all, would stamp his feet saying, okay, there is this kind of players, this kind of elements in the lineup that really we have to substitute. And I'm talking about the Cambiassos, I'm talking about the Kivus or the other ones that honestly you can't really pretend to go in the future with someone like that.
Tancredi, though, I agree with you. There's massive surgery that needs to be done at Inter. Massive surgery costs a lot of money. Inter, to continue the metaphor, don't have any adequate health insurance here. If they go and get another manager, he's going to want a senior manager. He's going to want money. He's going to want to have his say and so on. I mean, as I see it, the reason Stramaccioni is likely to stay is because he's cheap, and you can make him work with what he has. You know, remember, you mentioned Kivu there. This is the guy who started Kivu in his first game. Kivu was Inter's left back.
Well, Gab, the first reason why he's staying, I know it's strange to say, but it is winning 4-2 the derby against Milan. Now, you can't imagine how much important is in Moratti's brain winning the derby.
Although he said that was not the reason.
Moratti says lots of things, Mina. I mean, I would honestly.
But I don't honestly think that that's why he's getting the job.
It's because the reason I said. He's cheap and he's there.
And he knows the youth team. He can actually start promoting one of, I think, probably the best youth team in Italy.
Well, but you know, it would be like this.
Yeah. The next
it would bring some other youngsters in the squad. And actually, in these 8 games, we have seen almost 0 youngsters, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe just once, but almost 0 youngsters. I will see if in the summer something is changing. But Stramaccioni knows that if he wants to stay there, now he's already done the deal, I mean the decision, but if he wants to stay there, he had to achieve some result, if not all the result, please Moratti's taste, but also please in some way the lockers. Pleasing the lockers means having the acceptance of Zanetti and Cambiasso as first, then the Argentinians and the others. If he would come there and think, okay, first decision, youngsters in, old ones out, honestly, he would stay just clinching the third spot. That was almost impossible as it is. Tancredi,
moving on to something less depressing than Inter right now. You could make the argument, if you were a big Milan fan, perhaps if you were Tiziano Crudeli, you might say, what derby win are we talking about when, you know, obviously the referee had a horrible game. Samuel should have been sent off for Robinho. The first penalty was absurd. But as a neutral, though, you might find that in reality, despite all these refereeing mistakes, it was just a riveting, exciting game with a lot of great technique out there. I'm thinking of Ibra's goal, and also that ridiculous shot from Sneijder, which almost went in from the halfway line.
Goal.
I mean, it was fantastic. And of course, Maicon's goal.
Well, I must say that it's a pity because Nicola Rizzoli, in my opinion, he is, so far at least, or he was the best referee that Italy has in this moment. And as far as are my sources, one of the most candidates until last Sunday to referee the Champions League final. Also, he will be the only Italian referee at Euro 2012. And in style, even if not skilled in the same way, in style is the only one that is closer to Pierluigi Collina, and not only because he's coming from the same school of referee, exactly the same one in Bologna, where Collina was raised, with the same masters and teachers.
Oh my God, so it's talk about love for Rizzoli.
Yeah, let's move on from Rizzoli.
I want to discuss the 4th penalty that maybe no one saw in the San Siro, but we've actually got footage of it.
That is something that is going to create a lot of controversial because, you know, I want
no, this is I'm talking about your penalty, Tancredi.
gonna create a lot of controversial, Mina.
let's have a look at your penalty in the San Siro. This is Tancredi. Come on, well, I can barely see you on this pitch. And there you are, and it's ballooned over the bar. What is this? Let's have a...
Should we tell you two things, Mina? First of all, I was shooting that without shoes, as we were doing when we were kids on the pitch.
Oh, you sound a lot like Allegri now. Excuses, excuses.
I think we need to see this again.
Two things. Yesterday, my phone was busy because Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo called me, tell me, we know how do you feel this year. And third of all, I want to remind that Jose Mourinho said only people with bollocks can take penalties. Doesn't matter if they miss it. Just remind this.
We're going to take another look at this in slow motion now, Tancredi, because frankly, I had the impression that the keeper guesses the right way, but here you see your body goes back, and that's why you can't keep the shot down.
That's because the Barcelona tactic wetting the grass before the game, you know. It's all about mind games. But the point is, what is the point in scoring in the low corner just with a smooth shoot? Or you do in a grosso way, up in the high corner, or otherwise there is no point. That challenge for the hard challenge, otherwise for what we are here in life.
Okay, Tancredi, that's enough about you. Let's talk about a slightly more successful center forward. Just quickly here, because sort of the news of the day, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, talk of another stomach ache, talking about the team becoming better and so on. Galliani shutting him up by saying, oh no, we don't need any more superstars. We already have two of the biggest in Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva, which to me makes zero sense because Thiago Silva has been injured and of course rumored to be moving on. And Ibrahimovic himself, well, he will be one of the superstars wherever he goes.
Well, yes, first and second to explain why this happened. These big stars, the foreign big stars, they don't talk about these things with Italian or anyway local press. So it was the Swedish journalists that are always covering Ibrahimovic. When almost the mixed zone of San Siro was almost empty, that catch this that are an earthquake in Milan, these Ibrahimovic quotes. He said, I came here because there was a project of a great Milan. Now, I don't know what they want to make with this project. He also said, I'm not saying that I'm not going to respect my contract, but I want to see what is going to happen this summer. Now, keeping these quotes, knowing that he's under Mino Raiola agent, and knowing that for sure Real Madrid is going to search for one forward, one number 9, something like that. I'm not saying that something for sure is going to happen, but you know, we say in Italy that when there are thunders, then is coming the rain. So I don't think that it's just some alarm and then it's already...
I think this is going to go on all summer long.
But do you think that, you know what, but it kind of would make sense if he goes to Real Madrid. Do you think there's any possibility of that happening, Gab?
I think there's more than the possibility of that happening.
Because to me, it makes sense that he would go there.
And
for anything, to stick it to Barcelona, to prove he can make it in the Spanish league, and to win, to make more money. Why not?
Question is, Ibra and Ronaldo on the same pitch.
Oh, come on,
That'd
isn't
fantastic.
that an ego-filled room?
I
I'd
know.
love to be
I'm not saying that he's going to Real Madrid, but for sure, you know, he's now playing the level like saying,
he's using, but look, this is the reason why it's certainly a bad idea to sign this guy, because now he's using it as leverage over Milan. We're going to move on now to slightly, slightly more ridiculous events. Last Wednesday, Fiorentina, Delio Rossi, he substitutes Adam Laic. Words are exchanged between the two. And Rossi just jumps out and attacks him. Rossi has since apologized. He's since been sacked from the club, banned for 3 games, received a lot of support from the ultras, a lot of support from managers and players who said, you don't know the number of times I wanted to do that to one of my players. He doesn't have this kind of reputation at all.
You have to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, Mina says you have to feel sorry for him. Are you as kind as Mina?
Well, I want to say that not everything in life, and especially in situations, it's white or black. So maybe if I look at that, it's Laic made a mistake, Rossi made even a bigger mistake. That doesn't make that they both are one a violent person and the other just a silly player. As far as I know, Laic is a very calm guy and even shy. Delio Rossi, everybody knows that he's kind of a gentleman. So there are, you know, when one mistake is taking another, then there are situations that are just blowing out. All in all, when something like that is happening, it's hard for a club, and more for a club like Fiorentina that made fair play as a badge on their shirt. It's very hard to keep the man on the bench. Still, he's not violent. Yes, Delio. No, yes, Delio. I agree with you. He's not violent, and Ljajic is not that kind of guy that is like, you know, winding up the managers. It's not the Ibrahimovic or anyway someone provocative. But in this Fiorentina situation where the pressure is boiling over everyone, it can happen. They are human beings.
The thing is, it can happen. It was definitely a mistake. And now, of course, Italy's or Serie A has lost an important coach. But we're going to have to say bye to you now, Tancredi, simply because I think you need to practice your penalties. So we're going to leave you to do that.
Thank you,
Tancredi. I want to see
Tancredi.
what you will be able to do.
More than that, trust me. And now, of course, I want to discuss...
Unresolved business.
Unresolved business. What happened to Napoli? It was so frustrating to watch that match against Bologna. Firstly, because I want to say to you, Stefano Pioli, okay? Secondly, I want to say, classic Mazzari. What, on the 56th minute, he decides to go gung-ho, leave spaces in the back. Really? You want to make all your attacking changes so early in the game and just gamble like that when you're chasing third and you have a good shot of making it?
Yeah, it was bizarre because it's not as if they were playing bad. I can understand the gamble, but they were playing very well. They created so many chances. They could have been 4 or 5-1 up in the first half easily. And no, it's they threw it away. I'm sure De Laurentiis.
But how much do you blame Mazzari for this?
You have to blame Mazzari. He's the manager. I mean, we praise him when he does well. I mean,
but is he really this great coach that deserves to be at a top team?
You know,
I'm sorry, because for me, I think he gets his tactics wrong too often.
Pep Guardiola bought Ibrahimovic. I mean,
no, that's different. That's a transfer market thing. People make
Pep
mistakes.
Guardiola obsessed with weirdo lineups and formations and playing 9 midfielders. I mean, you know, stuff happens. People make mistakes. I think on the day, he definitely got it wrong and it cost him. But the upshot of this, of course, is Udinese somehow win, despite the fact that everybody's injured.
Not anymore. They've reclaimed a lot of their people back now.
Even the good ones, Armero, Isla. You know, it's remarkable. And I'm assuming you agree with me that there's no way Udinese can mess up third place.
I don't know.
Wow.
You really don't know. This has been a crazy season in Serie A. Everything has happened.
It certainly has. The one thing that we know, of course, is Roma won't be able to make the top 3 this season. The reason I point this out is because today, of course, is Luis Enrique's birthday, and so the club decided they won't talk about Luis Enrique today.
Oh, what a gesture.
It's very nice.
So
but 4 or 5 days, the dude's going to have to make a decision on his future.
Yeah.
And I think Roma will too.
He should be given a little more time, but he should also adapt tactically perhaps a little bit more. His fascination with playing un-Italian-like football sort of grates me a little.
That's why he was hired. That's the whole point. And I suggest we also give a shout out to Cesena and Novara, who are going down, but are going down fighting.
Yes, well done. Of course, Cesena is my little second team. But that's all we have time for in Italy, which is a shame. But congratulations to Juventus. We'll be back after the break to discuss Spain. See you then.